Imagine waking up tomorrow, checking your phone, and seeing a news alert that sends a literal electric jolt straight through your body. The kind of alert that makes your heart hammer against your ribs, the kind that has you scrambling out of bed because the world of finance, as you knew it, has just irrevocably changed overnight. What if I told you that this exact scenario is not just a distant fantasy for a lucky few, but a tangible, looming reality that could be unfolding as you watch this video? We are standing at the precipice of a monetary event so significant, so earth-shattering, that it will be written about in economic textbooks for generations to come. The whispers in the hallowed halls of international central banks have grown into frantic, urgent conversations. The digital ledgers that govern the global flow of capital are being tested and prepared for a shift of a magnitude we haven't witnessed in our lifetimes. This isn't about a stock market crash or a simple interest rate adjustment. This is about the complete and total revaluation of currencies long considered to be sleeping giants, specifically the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong. The mechanisms for this are already in place, moving silently behind the scenes in the complex web of the global Forex market. The trigger, my friends, is primed. For months, and indeed years, the groundwork has been laid through international agreements, debt forgiveness, and monumental infrastructure projects designed to bring these nations into a new economic era, freeing them from the artificial constraints of a post-conflict or developing economy status. The value you see on your screen right now for the IQD and VND is a phantom, a relic of a different time, a placeholder that the global economic system has long since outgrown. The pressure that has been building beneath this facade is now immense, a geyser of pent-up economic potential ready to erupt. Think of it like this. You cannot have a nation like Iraq, sitting on one of the world's largest proven oil reserves, with a government actively engaging in multi-billion-dollar development projects and strengthening ties with global economic powers, forever tethered to an exchange rate that was established in a period of profound instability. It is an economic paradox that can only exist for so long before the market itself forces a correction. Similarly, Vietnam is no longer the hidden gem it was a decade ago. It is a global manufacturing hub, a technological innovator, and a beacon of growth in Southeast Asia, yet its currency does not yet fully reflect this staggering ascent. The disconnect between the true, robust economic strength of these nations and the official numbers assigned to their monetary units is the single greatest anomaly in the foreign exchange world today, and anomalies of this scale cannot persist forever. The dam is breaking. The evidence is no longer confined to shadowy forums or speculative chats. It's in the official statements from the Central Bank of Iraq, which has repeatedly spoken of its goal to strengthen the dinar and remove the zeros, a process that is inextricably linked to a change in its international value. It's in the relentless, smart money flowing into Vietnam, with foreign investment breaking records quarter after quarter, signaling a profound confidence in the nation's long-term financial trajectory that the current Dong valuation simply does not account for. Major international financial institutions have quietly begun updating their internal systems, preparing their tellers and their digital platforms for a new reality, for new exchange rates that will shock the general public but will come as no surprise to those who have been paying attention to the intricate dance of global finance. The banks are on red alert not because they are afraid, but because they are preparing for the operational tsunami that such a change will bring, a flood of transactions, conversions, and a fundamental recalibration of wealth. They are readying their vaults, their software, and their protocols because their sources, their intelligence, and the undeniable economic indicators are all pointing toward one inevitable conclusion: the revaluation is imminent. It could be tomorrow morning, it could be next week, but the countdown has effectively reached its final moments. This is the moment where years of patience, research, and steadfast belief are poised to meet their ultimate test. The world is about to witness a financial dawn so bright, it will redefine the meaning of wealth for countless individuals who had the foresight to see the potential in these currencies when they were undervalued and overlooked by the mainstream. This is not hype. This is the logical, anticipated culmination of a long and complex economic journey for two nations ready to claim their rightful place on the global stage, and for you, the alert investor, it represents a point of no return. The silence before the storm is the most deafening sound of all, and right now, that silence is thundering across the Forex markets. So what does this mean for you personally, sitting there watching this screen? It means that every single moment from now until that official announcement is made is a gift of priceless preparation, a final window to ensure your own financial house is in order before the landscape transforms forever. Let's be brutally honest about the immediate aftermath. The moment the new rates for the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong flash across Bloomberg terminals and Reuters screens, the world will descend into a frenzy of chaotic activity. The very first thing that will happen is a complete and total freeze on the ability for the average person to easily acquire these currencies at their current, pre-revaluation price. The digital gates will slam shut. Online Forex platforms, the kind you and I use, will be the first to halt trading, citing extreme market volatility or a liquidity review. This isn't a conspiracy, it's standard procedure for an event of this magnitude, designed to protect the platforms themselves from catastrophic arbitrage. Then, the physical locations, the currency exchange booths in airports and banks, will either shut down completely or post signs stating they have no supply, because their primary suppliers, the large-scale liquidity providers, will have ceased all distributions to retail outlets. The entire system is designed to pause, take a breath, and reassess in the face of a paradigm shift, and during that pause, the opportunity to get in on the ground floor vanishes. This is precisely why the banks themselves are on red alert. They are not just observers, they are the primary gatekeepers, and their internal directives have already been disseminated to staff, instructing them on the new verification protocols, the potential for incredibly high-value transactions, and the security measures required for what they internally refer to as a monetary transition event. They know that the moment this news breaks, every branch in every city will be flooded with individuals holding dinar and dong notes, and their systems must be prepared to handle that influx without collapsing. But here is the critical distinction that most people fail to understand. The initial chaos is for the retail, the everyday person. During this same period, at a level invisible to us, a monumental settling of accounts will be occurring between nations, between central banks, and between the titans of global finance. The new exchange rate will be used to instantly revalue the billions, if not trillions, of dinar and dong held in the sovereign wealth funds, the international debt settlements, and the foreign reserves of other countries. This is the real reason for the revaluation. It is, at its core, a mechanism to reset Iraq and Vietnam's standing in the global economic order, to instantly wipe away dollar-denominated debts by magically transforming their currency reserves, and to grant them immense new purchasing power on the international stage. The individual investor, you, riding this wave is a secondary consequence, a ripple effect from this central, geopolitical monetary reset. Your success in navigating the coming hours and days will depend entirely on the decisions you make in this quiet before the storm. Do you know exactly which financial institution you will be dealing with? Have you already established a relationship there? Do you have all your documents, your passports, your proof of purchase receipts for your currency, your bank account details, organized and ready in a single, secure place? The difference between a seamless, successful exchange and a nightmare of bureaucratic delays will be preparation. The banks, while on alert, will be overwhelmed, and their capacity for customer service will be stretched to the absolute limit. Those who walk in with everything perfectly in order will be processed efficiently. Those who are fumbling through bags for a missing document or who cannot clearly prove the legitimacy of their holdings may find themselves at the back of a very, very long line. This is not meant to scare you, but to empower you with the truth. The information is the key. Understanding that this is not just a financial event but a logistical and bureaucratic undertaking is what will separate those who simply heard the news from those who successfully capitalize on it. The revaluation is the starting pistol, but the race to convert your holdings efficiently is a test of your own readiness. And so we arrive at the final and most important question. What do you do right now, in these critical moments that could very well be the last of the world as we know it financially? This is the part of the video that transcends mere information and becomes your personal blueprint for action, because knowledge without application is just background noise in a storm of opportunity. The first and most immediate step you must take is to perform a complete and honest audit of your own readiness. I want you to physically get up, right after this video, and locate every single dinar and dong note in your possession. I'm not talking about a mental checklist. I mean you need to lay them all out on a table, organize them by denomination, and ensure they are in acceptable condition. No major tears, excessive stains, or writing that could give a cautious bank teller an excuse to delay your transaction. Then, you need to gather every single receipt, every proof of purchase, every email confirmation from the vendor you used. This paper trail is not just a formality, it is your shield against potential questions about the origin of your holdings, and in the heightened regulatory environment that will follow a revaluation, that shield will be your most valuable asset. Your next non-negotiable task is to identify and contact your primary bank. Do not wait. You need to call them, or better yet, visit in person, and have a very specific, discreet conversation. You don't scream about a global monetary reset, you simply and calmly ask to speak with a branch manager or a senior financial officer and inquire about their policies and procedures for exchanging foreign currency, specifically the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong. You ask them what their process is, what identification is required, and if there are any daily limits on foreign currency conversions. This single conversation does two vital things. It gives you the exact roadmap you need to follow on the big day, and it establishes a relationship with the key decision makers in that branch. When the news breaks and chaos ensues, you won't be a frantic stranger, you will be the prepared individual who was in just yesterday, the one they remember and are more inclined to help efficiently. Now, let's talk about the psychological warfare that is about to begin. The very second this revaluation is announced, a coordinated wave of disinformation will flood the media. Mainstream news outlets, many of whom have consistently dismissed this possibility, will initially report it as a glitch, then as a temporary anomaly, and then they will pivot to interviewing a parade of so-called experts, who will immediately begin downplaying its significance, warning of hyperinflation in those countries, or claiming the new rates are unsustainable. They will do everything in their power to create doubt, to sow confusion, and to convince you that what you are seeing is not real, that you should wait, that you should be cautious. This is the ultimate test of your conviction. You must understand that this narrative is designed to manage the panic and to control the flow of wealth. You have been ahead of the curve for this long. Do not let the very institutions that failed to predict this event now talk you out of your own success. Your plan must be to act swiftly, confidently, and with precision, relying on the preparation you have done, not on the chaotic commentary that will dominate the airwaves. Trust the evidence you have accumulated, trust the economic inevitability you have understood for years, and trust your own readiness. This is your moment. You have endured the skepticism, you have navigated the sea of misinformation, and you have positioned yourself at the very epicenter of what could be the most significant wealth transfer of our generation. The alert is live. The banks are on standby. The world is on the brink. Now, it all comes down to you. Do not let this final hour find you unprepared. Take action now. Secure your documents, confirm your bank's procedures, and fortify your mind against the coming storm of doubt. Your financial future will be decided not by the announcement itself, but by what you do in the hours between that announcement and when you successfully complete your exchange. The time for waiting is over. The time for action is now.